Hey yo, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome on in for some NECC action. It's Monday. That means we get to get down to some Valorant here. We've got two 1-0 squads as our Indiana Tech Warriors face off against the Minnesota State Mavericks. It's two squads facing off against one another who have at least started things the right way. If we look back to last week, at least as far as how our Warriors were able to get things kicked off, bouncing back after dropping map number one, picking up two straight maps, able to walk away with the Dubsky here. The challenge today with the Mavericks probably going to be at least a little bit more so. Mavericks are the number 2 seed as far as for South Central A. For Division 4, so probably a little bit more of a challenge here as far as for this time around. Should be a lot of fun to kind of see how things play out. I think technically the higher seed as for now. So it is still week number 2. It is still relatively early on, so still might be seeing teams putting things together. As far as for today, still best of 3 action. We're going to be going to Haven to start things off with Indiana Tech attacking first. Then it's off to the Corrode and then to Bind if needed. If it's your first time through over here on the Indiana Tech team stream here on Twitch, do me a favor, make sure you hit that follow button down below, turn those notifications on, and let me know what you guys are expecting here. Do you guys think that this thing's going to be going 3 like we did see last week against UAH Charger Blue? And they did drop map number 1. We saw the Warriors drop 8-13, but then they looked dominant in maps 2 and 3, winning 13-5, 13-6. As we are able to take a quick look in at the squad, getting ready to load in here. Z Killer, Bacon, M2 Sky, Willie Allen, Void Lord. Should be a lot of fun. Again, week number 2, still got a lot of time left as far as in the fall semester here, but I feel like from what we've at least seen from the team thus far, showing a lot of promise. I think today will be one of those matchups. I think even looking back towards the end of the semester, almost feeling like this was kind of a really good judgment game to have really early on. Kind of see where we're at against some of the best in the South Central A here for Division 4. Go ahead and get to our agent select here, though. Again, map number 1. We are going to be going off to Haven, Indiana Tech. At least locking in right away. Going to be seeing the Sova, seeing the Neon. Do like the idea, seeing the hover on the Cypher. I always feel like a pretty good pick on Haven. Really lets you lock down a site by yourself. Probably gonna be seeing similar compositions on either side. If I had to guess, you can kind of see agents that are getting floated. Yeah, Sovas ends up getting locked in. As for now, really the big difference at the breach, as opposed to, or sorry, the breach and the jet. As sort of the differences over on the Minnesota State side. Indiana Tech, I wouldn't be surprised still seeing the Yoru coming in as they're hovering there. But, you know, Haven, one of those tried and true maps when you think about, kind of been one of the staples inside of Valorant. So I'm sure both teams going to be feeling at least relatively comfortable here. I always feel like the 3-site maps really do obviously put a little bit more stress on the defensive team. Which is going to be where Minnesota State is starting off. I think it's going to be important for the Warriors here to be able to get themselves a nice strong half. Of course, every round of Valorant does start the same. Starts with the pistol, which we'll be heading to here in just a moment or two. Again, if it's your first time through hanging out with us over here on the team stream here for the Twitch channel, make sure you hit that follow button, turn those notifications on, as we've got esports action all week long. Just about every week. We're still at the early part of the semester here, so get locked in as we are getting ready to kind of move forward with the rest of the semester here. Getting ready for map number 1. I mentioned that pistol round where things always end up getting started. I feel like often we've been seeing most teams feeling most comfortable on the offensive side, pushing towards that A site. Does look like Minnesota State has an early read that direction. Let's go ahead and get down to it. Round number 1. Apple will try and push on up. You're actually going to see a quick push, however, from the Warriors making their way into Garage. Z-Killer leading the way, able to find that trap wire. M2 Sky watching the lurk. We'll be able to push them back. A shot by M2 Sky here to be able to find that opening pick and window, but an even better decision here. Instead of quickly pushing towards B, it's actually going to be a shift of focus. Pushing over towards A. Apple going to try and hold off the initial push. We're going to be able to find one, which is going to give our Warriors the green light to go ahead and get the spike down. Voidlord also going to be able to find one. Leaves it up to Cypher in the sofa. Over here for the Mavericks, both pushing on this backside. Surely not going to want to push up towards heaven. Voidlord turns the corner, finds the heady. Means triplet, the last one left. Be able to at least find Voidlord, but it's going to be on the clock here for now. The 1v3, Bacon holding the short angle, but it's M2 Sky who walks away with the 3K.
You see under my hood, Cypher. Does it scare you?
Pistol always a big round to start, but more important than winning the pistol round, able to win that first buy here. You know you're walking into map number 2 with the gunny's advantage. A couple of SMGs, a sheriff in hand of M2 Sky. Does look like this time around we'll be looking for a quick push down C here as well. Most of the resistance for the Mavericks just outside of Garage, and Triplet will be able to find Willie Helm. This initial push has been shut down. An unfortunate situation to be in if you're M2 Sky, only a sheriff in hand, trying to find a heady where you can. And instead it's the thrifty round here from Minnesota State. A big bounce back for the Mavericks. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make that too much of a costly round. Just in the sense of having to reinvest here in round number 3. The good news is no rifles out as of now. Applesuck is going to end up falling here as Z-Killer steps through with the ghost, finds one. Still have Memo around the corner. Willie Helm. Oh, doesn't clear the corner though. Memo looking to try and find a second. Oolong will fall back enough to be able to stay alive for a 3v3 on the retake as the spike does go down. Where's that timer starts? Everyone sitting on this backside. Looking to make a push through a tunnel. Voidlord's gonna find 2. That's 3 for the round. Make that a 4K. And Voidlord leads the charge for the Warriors in round number 3 as they bounce back in a big way.
This goes here.
Do we anticipate this being one of those back and forth sort of series? Again, you feel like being on the attacker side on Haven, you want to have the stronger half here. Almost feels like you're setting that finish line. Now your defense has to cross. Z-Killer's location will be revealed just outside of Garage, but that won't stop 3 players from pushing through the door. Oolong will to get down on B. Voidlord has to watch the backside.
Here.
Grouping back up with the rest of the squad here, looking to potentially send this spike down C. It's a triple push through the garage. Triplet hanging on site just outside the cage. Killer on the backside as Bacon will be able to find the first. Triplet still alive on site though. We'll be able to find one. Ends up getting put down by Bacon. And the spike ends up being planted. It's Killer. Bacon. And Void Lord, the last three alive here for Indiana Tech. Slight HP advantage. As the breach sitting rather low. Zekila going to be able to find the first one. Gives the numbers advantage until Apple, Sucka, and Oolong both find one. Zekila, the last one left alive. It's a 1v1. Nice little bit of a slide. Ring around the rosy. Can you find it? No, it's a right click from Apple, Sucka. Enough time left on the clock here as well to be able to find the defuse. We're off to round 5, all tied up at 2. Tough round for sure. The good news is where we're seeing the Warriors, it feels like the 2 rounds they dropped were the closer ones. It feels like at least the rounds that they have been winning have had a little bit more control comparatively. Of course, kind of hard to compare offense to defense sometimes, but 4 rounds in, that's really all we've got. On board with the camps. All 5 players seem locked in. I do believe we heard the round getting started, so let's go ahead and kick right back on over to it. For a potential push quickly into B, Willie Helm looking to lead the charge. Spray through the smoke as Oolong will send the fault line out. Spraying through with the Vandal. Holding off this initial push from the Warriors. Spike still kind of defaulted back though. They still have options. It's like maybe even deciding for a potential rotate over towards A based off of the information that Willie Helm is able to get with a quick peek around the corner here in just a moment. Does have Memo. Down sight. They decide for the double swing here. It will be a recon bolt that pops out. Will let players know that there is a Sova on site. How many players here with them, though, is the question, as Apple Sucka will be able to find the opening pick. Bacon finds the trade out, and Void Lord will be traded out, but finds that second frag. 3v3 on the retake here for Minnesota State. Memo up in heaven. For the rest of the help to rotate their way on across. That neural theft is going to give some valuable information to the Mavericks here. Oh no, M2 Sky gets dropped on, and it's Memo, who's really leading the charge here, finds the 2 kills, looks to spray through the smoke. Zag puts it down. Minnesota State will get their first lead here in map 1. Of course, it did require the ult from the Cypher to be able to pull that last round off. Still a couple of ults at each team's disposal, so I think at least maybe the good news is if you're able to keep Void Lord up here, you have your neural theft to be able to use. Couple of duelists on either side do have their ults available too, so could potentially be a very costly round on either side here. As we do see the Blade Storm come out here from Applesuck as they fall back here. On this A-long side, I do believe they had seen all 3 players from Indiana Tech are pushing down that way. Void Lord will be able to find one here, at least turns the numbers advantage. I was gonna say temporarily back to an even state, but Applesucker with the knives in hands will be able to find an additional one. The question now becomes here for the Warriors, where do you take the spike? Got it here in Courtyard. Seen them find some success here in the past, pushing it through Garage. you do still have triplet and a couple of pieces of util over here. I do believe you did see a little bit of the body over there, which is Z Killer, full send on the site. We'll try and clear long real quick. Dag here along to help, but will be triplet who puts down Z Killer. Void Lord found on the backside here as well. Giving it all left to Bacon. Will be unsuccessful over here on C as the lead for Minnesota State grows to 2. Now that's where things get interesting because the Econ's starting to build up over on that Maverick side. It will have to be, well, I was going to say a Chico round, but looks like more stingers than sheriffs this time around. But still a lighter buy, wanting to make sure they'll be able to fully invest in the following round. I would like to say you could try and pull off the thrifty here and walk around and turn this into a one-round game, but at most, or at the least you would like to do is make things a little bit more expensive. Z Killer Stinger in hand finds one, but will be traded out. Zag trying to find a way out with their life and will be successful. Billy Helm turns the corner, finds the outlaw. Being aimed down sight, M2 Sky turns the corner and unfortunately unable to land the shots. That means 4 players will be able to carry those rifles over into round number 8 here for Minnesota State as they continue to build up the bank. Knowing the importance of the offensive side here, Indiana Tech has to lock things in.
Time to jump.
Drop this one, the Econ gets broken again, and all of a sudden this first half at risk of getting out of hand. Z-Killa slowly walking things back here through garage. It does look like potentially the Warriors. I was going to say looking to pivot towards B. Definitely won't want to go towards A, but now going to have all sorts of questions in the back of their mind. Is Zag also able to find a frag? We'll bring the push through garage down to a standstill. Now the question becomes, do you just rotate this thing through B? Which the defense for the Mavericks starting to close their way in as Memo turns the corner, able to put Void Lord down. Oolong also able to find a frag, which leaves it all left to Z-Killa. Being patient, but as Oolong right on the other side of the smoke, along with Memo. Z-Killa looking to try and get out of dodge.
30 seconds left.
Looking to try and play aggressive and maybe rotate this way towards C. The only problem is you've got Cypher and all of that util over on this side. Instead, Z-Killer taking the safe route. Sometimes the right decision, not always the most fun decision. But even just one rifle carried over in this next round could be big. So the save is indeed the call. The Mavericks, unsurprisingly, not looking to overextend either. And take it with a grain of salt. Admittedly, your boy is a certified aluminum 2. I do watch quite a bit of competitive Valorant. I feel like maybe the timeout should have been done before the rifle round, but now the timeout will come out indeed. And we'll have to see what the Warriors are going to be able to put together here, because you got to find a way to stop the bleeding. 4 rounds through, it felt like you were going back and forth against what's currently the #1 seed in Division 4 or South Central A for NECC, but the Mavericks have started to run away with things, and it felt like early on the rounds that the Mavericks were winning were very close. The last couple of rounds, that hasn't quite been the case here, so see what the coach is able to put together here in the timeout. See if we can get a potential timeout buff heading into these last 4 rounds of the half. because the Mavericks have already at least guaranteed themselves a share of the lead at halftime. At this point, for the Warriors, you just would like to be able to make it manageable.
This should do. That goes there.
For anyone who was able to catch in on the action last week, though, we know that a dropped map and map number 1 isn't necessarily indicative of what the final result will be. Last week, it was maps 2 and 3 was where the Warriors were able to walk away with dubs. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves just quite yet. Right now, low and slow, sort of like a good roast. Apple Sucker has the op in hand, a swing and a miss. We'll end up falling back here. Would, dare I say, be a risk to push down long, following right behind the op. I think a good decision after seeing the Owl drone gets put down by an additional player, realizing the defense from the Mavericks already set up on A to pivot over towards C. Void Lord's already cleared the backside as well. Oh, and might even be able to find an opening frag. Oh, but a swing and a miss on the whiff. Oh, that's one you really would have loved to have. M2 Sky will be able to find the first one, though. Vault Lighting coming out as well as Minnesota State looks to push through window. So they would like to make this a 2-front push on the retake. Apple Sucker has Willie Helm on the opposite side and turns away from the flash just at the right time. Z-Killer, M2 Sky, both finding frags. Apple Sucker, the last one left alive. The 3K from Z-Killer. Puts another round on the board for Indiana Tech as they bounce back when needed. They will need to find a way to duplicate that success. And trying to do quick maths, admittedly not my strongest suit, but looking at the econ here for Indiana Tech, or not for Indiana Tech, for Minnesota State, I think even if you win the next 2 rounds, you'll still have a relatively decent bye. And the final one, as long as they're smart about it. Which means it is going to be a challenge. Living life in the fast lane here is Z-Killer. Pushing to the far side of sight, but that gives the squad the green light.
Spike planted.
Void Lord will find the first. Zag turns the corner. That will bring out the Hunter's Fury. However, Hunter's Fury doesn't find a thing. Willie Helm on the lurk, gonna turn the corner here at the door. Will fall back. Apple Sucker has the knives in hand, and I don't know if they hear him. Z-Killer gonna be able to find one. Willie Helm finds 2. And Z-Killer gonna be able to find the last with the spirit fingers. The overdrive does get used, but it secures the round. I had mentioned before, maybe get a mixed buy in the final round. Does look like that would indeed be the case. There's still gonna be rifles across the board here for the Mavericks. But momentum seems to be starting to go and shift back into the side for the Warriors. The question now, where do you go? Bacon will find the opening frag. That will give Indiana Tech the neural theft. Gives them plenty of information, but even with that, Zag will be able to find one. Willie Helm will be able to take down Oolong as the squad looks to be able to take control of B. They have that neural theft information earlier, so they should know these final 2 defenders are split. Triplet gets put down. Memo will be able to find one, make it 2. I was gonna say you would like to avoid making this a costly round if you're the Warriors, but instead, now you're just making sure you walk away with a round win. Recon Bolt will guarantee the location is revealed as Void Lord turns the corner. It will be a team ace, one round away from being able to secure a tie. With that, the Mavericks call for a pumping of the brakes here. Not gonna lie, kind of surprised on this one. Z-Killa seems to be all about the vibes right now. Sitting back, eyes closed. Feeling the zen, I guess. These last couple of rounds have been big for Indiana Tech, though. It's felt like the control of the pacing has turned into their advantage, which is nice going into their final attacking round. It is, unfortunately, though, their final attacking round. This is your last chance to be the ones who get to dictate the pace of play. After this, you had to become the reactionary ones going to the defensive side. 5-7 wouldn't be bad, but I sure would like a bring that back. 5-7 wouldn't be bad with the way things looked when it was 6-2, but honestly, I would love to see a tie at half.
This goes here.
Let's go ahead and get down and do what it do.
Yalla, Mshina.
Final half of play. Minnesota State does have the Hunter's Fury. Also got the Breach ult as well. MSU Zag right on the other side here, as 4 players are stacked in garage. They opt to push through. Right into Zag becomes the question. Do have time, 62 seconds. Recon drone gets sent towards B.
Shadows traveling.
Oh, and backing down here is Zag. Smart decision. You figure that might give them enough confidence to push through. Z-Killa will be able to find one. M2 Sky finds one as well. I don't think they know about Apple Sucker with the op, though. Not like this. Oh, no. That's 2.
No charges left.
It's the spray to the wall to find the third. Can't quite find it
30
there.
seconds left. Spike planted.
Spike will eventually go down.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, and Triplet finds it. The neural theft will give the information away. So M2 Sky does have to work around that. I should have the information to know that Applesuck is the op player. Oh, but you should wait for the click on the spike for the second time. Oh, so close. Minnesota State does get the timeout buff. Ends up coming out on top in half number 1, 7-5. Again, though, I did say heading into that final round, with the way things looked at the end of round number 8, 7-5 feels manageable going over the defensive half, but it does put a little bit more pressure on this upcoming pistol round. Because as much as our first 4 rounds were split in the first half, that's not a common occurrence. Generally, you win the pistol, you win the following round, which means 7 could very quickly turn to 9 if Indiana Tech drops this pistol here. Your recon bolt. The Mavericks to look to potentially scout out a route over here towards C. With Lord by themselves. Oh, I'm sorry. They do have a little bit of help here. And now, not only will it be Willie Helm that's here to help on C, but the rotate surely gets called in. Backing down, though, are the Mavericks, as they look to pivot. I would imagine with a full rotate over towards A, Z-Killer is able to find a frag here, though. That would put a stop to this push in a big way. Instead, fall all the way back to site. Now's where things get really interesting, because technically the Mavericks don't know if there's a lurker on the full back side of this push. It'll be the fault line that breaks out for a push onto the site here itself. Applesucker quickly asserts themselves towards the backside of site, finds one, but quickly gets put down from there. This next frag could be huge, but it will be a trade. Z-Killer ends up getting put down and puts the number advantage here for the Mavericks.
Last player standing.
Bacon will end up falling here as Void Lord, the last one left alive. Big right click here. There will be triplet on the backside, holding at least for half. You full send here. You might. Oh! And the clutch works. It doesn't matter if you fall afterwards. The big round win here for the Warriors.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
I did mention it's not usual to split the first couple of rounds. And I think it's important for the Warriors to not allow that to repeat here in the second half. Matter of fact, you would like to tie things up here. Try and make this as cheap of a round as possible. Try and make that bonus as big as possible. We are starting to get close to what I like to call the meat and potato rounds. At like 17 through 20 round range. As far as for round 14 for now, Minnesota State slowly starting to gather a little information. Haven't quite figured out which way they want to shift their focus quite yet. Does look like starting to group up for a push over towards A. Of course, as I say that, now potentially looking towards C. Willie Helm will be able to find one here. And I should pretty well solidify the look towards C, especially now that you have been able to make the spikes way towards Cubby. The only problem is there's already 3 defenders here. Willie Helm's going to be able to find 2 more before getting traded out.
Last player standing.
But I mentioned, you've already invested so far. You have to try and go from there. 4 players left standing for the Warriors, and I mentioned trying to make this as cheap of a round as possible. Goal achieved. Tied up at 7.
Yes, this should do.
Now as the rifles come out for the Mavericks, if you can make it 3 in a row, you break the economy and you start to look and try and stack that money in the bank on your side as well.
Revealing area. There they are.
Mavericks look to push this thing over towards A, it does look like. They anticipate M2 Sky on the other side. Oh, 2 frags, both found here from the Mavericks. Z-Killer. Oh, 1 shot. Oh, make it 2 shot.
Player standing.
Oh, I thought I was going to be able to pick up the Vandal. It makes a little bit more work of things. Unfortunately, not the case. Void Lord, though, does have the Bulldog in hand. And even just 1 more frag makes this at least a somewhat costly round for the Mavericks. Oolong sitting on like 5 HP in a dream. The location will be revealed there. Hold on a second. You're telling me there's a chance? Spray through if you can find Oolong. Yes, sir. It's a 1v1. Void Lord. There's just not enough time. I think even if you find Zag there, I don't think there's enough time to be able to not only put Zag down, but be able to find the defuse. But you made it a very costly round. Which means even now going into round 16, the Mavericks not going to be able to fully invest. A couple of Guardians, a couple of half shields. For the Warriors, still in a similar situation as you were going into last round. You can break the bank with a round win here.
Spike down A.
Except it's a little different because now you've got rifles in hand. Applesucker, the only one who's going to be able to find a frag before getting put down. Triplet, the last one left alive. The location has been revealed. Willie Helm finds the 3K, and we're tied up at 8 as we go to round 17. The Econ favors the Warriors. The momentum favors the Warriors. After this round, will the score favor the Warriors as well? Feels like oh so an important round. Would be a huge thrifty if the Mavericks pull it off. Which is why Indiana Tech must win here. Void Lord steps through the door at Garage. Will put Triplet down. Location will be revealed, and it's going to be a neural theft. Which will let Indiana Tech know that it's a full send on to C. Willie Helm steps through, looking to try and find the knives. Will be unsuccessful in that regard. We'll be able to get back to safety. Void Lord finds 3, make it 4. Can Void Lord find the ace? Willie Helm surely leading the way, just trying to tag him for Void Lord. You can see Void Lord. Oh, M2 Sky, why you gotta do it to my dog like that? You can't give him the ace. It's all right, though. It's a team win here for Indiana Tech. Big round win because it's a flawless round. Go ahead and hit me with a tab here so we can see it. The Econ, the money in the bank. Tell me what you think. Timeout call as well for the Mavericks as they pump the brakes, and understandably so, as the Warriors continue to cruise. Important here because this next round, you could, I don't want to say potentially end the game. It feels like maybe putting a little too much weight in that regards. But with the score sitting where it is, and knowing that there will be a full buy coming out from the Mavericks in this next round, if they drop that, have another pistol round, you should already be looking at double digits for the Warriors. Looking down map number 1. See if I can find quick information in the back to see whose map pick this was. I don't think I did see that before we headed in, so I'll see if I can find that for you guys. But regardless, winning map number 1 would be huge, especially after seeing the way things looked before that first time out in the first half. As I mentioned, a big round here. Let's look like the Mavericks who look for a push towards A. Nice cam by Void Lord. Be able to gather enough information. M2 Sky gonna be able to find 1. Void Lord surely hears the footsteps on the other side. Unfortunately, MSU Zag will be able to put Void Lord down first. Stepping through with the Sheriff in hand as Willie Helm gets traded out by Triplet. An advantage here for the Mavericks. Z-Killer making their way up in heaven. The neural theft's gonna give the information away here as the spike goes down.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Risky push by Z-Killer. Not sure if that's the play, but I understand the The need to feel like you need to make a play happen in that situation, right? You're short of players. See if maybe you can drop down from heaven and catch them off guard. But you had just gotten hit by the neural theft. Timeout works for Minnesota State. They win themselves around. Only their third in the last 10. It ended up finding that this is indeed Minnesota State's map pick. So huge dub. If you can pull this off here from Indiana Tech, you would then be going off to Corrode, which is your map pick, as we see Apple Sucker finding that first frag of the round. Helm with the operator in hand sees just enough of the elbow. Be able to find one. M2 Sky finds the other, but will not be able to find the third. Surely they know that the op's still around the corner. Tries to find it on the quickscope peek. Can't quite connect.
Spike planted.
Which leaves it all left to Void Lord. Unfortunately, with the spike down, means the clock has been started.
Cage triggered.
Cam will give away the information I thought was lining up for a potential collateral. That would have worked in Void Lord's favor. Instead, Minnesota State went back-to-back rounds, and they will be the first team to double digits.
Track them down.
Bounce back in a big way here if you're Indiana Tech. No ults to be able to do it off of the back of. Mavericks do have both the Sova and the Omen ult at their disposal. I say Omen? I said Sova, right? I said Sova. Anyways, here, minute 10 seconds left. Still plenty of time if they decide to pivot away from C, but they're already on the site. Void Lord finds the opening frag. Bacon finds one as well. Void Lord looking towards the long. Gonna be able to find one. 1 HP in a dream, but it's Memo who sprays through the smoke. Memo will find Willie Helm on the lurk.
Revealing area.
Bad news for Minnesota State as a spike is down on C. That's definitely a decision to use the Hunter's Fury there. Well, at least be able to find the tag on Ezekiel. But you know what? We'll take it for the Warriors. Not only does the Hunter's Fury get wasted, but the round goes in favor of the Warriors. And now Indiana Tech moves up to 10.
That goes there.
Switching over to the defensive side, Indiana Tech still has felt like they're relatively in control. They'll have the neural theft at their disposal here if they opt to be able to use it. Should I say opt to and are able to use it? Two Sky backs down enough, finds Zag. Might be able to find Apple Sucker, but Apple Sucker quicker on the trigger. Long able to find one as well, and now it's all left to Bacon, who just looks to try and make this round expensive in some sort of fashion. Instead, falls very quickly. 4 players left alive as Minnesota State are now 2 rounds away from winning map number 1.
Let us hunt.
Back and forth things have gone. NECC would surely like to be able to push this thing towards an overtime. Does feel like you need to get one here. Aggressive push around the corner by Z-Killer. Now you got the squad with you as well. Will cause a rotation, however, from the Mavericks, who will look to full pivot over towards A. And right now it's Void Lord with just a sheriff in hand. Looking to see if they can hold off this push. One shot, though, takes down Apple Sucker. I don't know about you guys, chat, but there's something satisfying about that. One shot, one tap, one kill. Tripit will be able to take down M2 Sky. We'll fall back with Zag here. But Z-Killer is on the flank.
Anyone else?
Nice job by Willie Helm here as well. NECC currently in a 3v2. 30 seconds left. I don't know if they've got location on the spike, but surely with Z-Killer lurking back towards B and having covered that backside, they have to know there's still a push coming towards A. Now as the recon bolt comes into play. Oh, it's a classic. Void Lord ends up finding the frag there. Triplet and a 1v2 on site. And it will be a big thrifty round here from Indiana Tech. Quite a few rifles carried over as well to allow them to stack some precious econ in the final rounds of regulation.
This goes here.
Means that this officially turns into a race for which one of these two teams.
Oh, this is a nice spot. We will reveal their secrets.
Put together a pair of round wins. Can they do so at the end of regulation? Will we be forced off to overtime? Well, they'll go back and forth on either side of the server here. Apple Sucker. Oh, I was gonna say, is on C. I thought maybe Void Lord was gonna be able to sneak into the backside of the smoke. Ends up not being the case. Hunter's Fury gives no information away. Bacon gonna be able to find Triplet. Was trying to save Z-Killer, who ends up getting pushed just a little too far into that C connector. And now Willie Helm, the last one left alive. Gonna be able to find any success there. 3 rifles gonna be carried over for Minnesota State as they put themselves onto map point. It'll be a full buy-ish from our Warriors. Couple of SMGs, but you know what? We can make it work. Knives come into play for Apple Sucker. We'll take down Z-Killer here on A long.
I know exactly where you are.
Oh, that Cypher upload is gonna be huge. Great shot though by M2 Sky to step through and quickly take down the Cypher. Void Lord calls out the push on to C. Rotation comes through. Don't know if you can avoid this spike going down though. You're gonna have to play for the retake.
Last player standing.
And all sorts of ults available to be able to secure the round here for Minnesota State. It was close. It was a back and forth affair. Unfortunately for our Warriors, Minnesota State come out on top in a hard-fought battle on Haven. So now we'll look off to Corrode. to try to extend this series. It will be Void Lord, though, who sat at the top with that MVP performance. It was close. It felt like there were opportunities for sure. But again, we did see the Warriors drop map number 1 last week. It wasn't quite as close, and they still turned around and looked dominant in maps 2 and 3. We'll look to see if they can do the same thing here against the Mavericks. Again, we're off to Corrode here for map number 2. Sure, our players will want to take a couple of minutes of break here, so make sure you guys don't stray too far away. If you grab yourself a quick snack, quick drink of water. But here on the other side of the break, we're off to map number 2 to Corrode to see if Indiana Tech can force things to a map number 3 here for NECC Division 4 action for South Central A. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome on back here to the Indiana Tech Twitch stream here as we do get ready for map number 2. In case you missed the end of map number 1, it was the Mavericks who were able to come out on top 13-11. I think looking back to how the map started, split the pistol and following round, you end up going down 6-2. 13-11, it feels like you were able to make the adjustments needed. Just maybe fell back behind a little too far to be able to surmount past that lead to be able to walk away with a dub. Of course, map number 1, Haven, was the Mavericks map pick. We're now off to Corrode for map number 2. Was the Warriors map pick. Now we will be starting with Indiana Tech on defense here to start as well. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you guys. I'm not really sure what to expect on Corrode. I haven't really gotten to see too much action on it. So be really intrigued to see what both of our 2 teams here today are going to be bringing to the table. I feel like we saw, as far as from Indiana Tech, the ability to overcome adversity. Again, maybe not the best of positions to start things off. Always still seem to be in high spirits, even here heading into map number 2. You can see the smiles on the cameras. Joking around, having a good time, feeling good. You feel good, you play good. See, as we do get ready to head into map number 2. Remember, it's a best of 3 here in NECC, so they do drop this next one. It's done and over and dusted, starting the season off 1-1. I don't know if I would, thinking about who is in our division here for South Central A. Thinking about how the rest of the semester could play out. I mean, this could very well be the top seed when everything's all said and done. So we'll see as we continue moving forward. I mean, Minnesota State was the only team that won last week that walked away with a sweep. Indiana Tech, Georgia Tech, and MSU Maroon all walking away with 2-1 victories. And I think part of it is, I mean, we've seen from this Mavericks squad, even when they fall behind with those early frags not going in their favor, still seem to be able to have composure, some great chemistry to be able to pull back some of those round wins. Some maybe more so than others, but definitely still feels like this is winnable with the way that the back end of Haven did play out. Corrode being the newest map to the pool makes you wonder how comfortable the Mavericks are here for Corrode. I feel like probably a lot of teams, I would imagine, scrimming Corrode pretty heavy with it being the newest map to the pool, but maybe I'm wrong in that regards. Let me know what you guys are thinking here. What kind of score line we expecting? I would like to see a bounce back here. Again, remember, looking back to last week, I had mentioned Indiana Tech walked away with a 2-1 victory. They did drop that first map. That one wasn't quite as close. It was 13-8, and then they bounced back 13-6, 13-5. Now, I don't know if with the strength of this Mavericks roster, I can see the Warriors walking away with a 13-6, 13-5 sort of map, but I do think you do definitely have the ability, the potential to be able to turn things around. Send us off to that map number 3 again. If it does go the length and we do need a decider, we will be going to bind for that. Also is worth noting, we've got Ping back in the lineup here. Was wrapping up the League of Legends side of things for the Warriors. Did get subbed in. I do feel like the addition of Ping against a Minnesota State roster that you just lost by a close score of 13-11. More so just adds to the point of bounce back being possible. I would imagine once Ping gets back is probably what we're waiting for as far as to be able to jump into the map officially here. So we do appreciate your patience as we do get ready for this map. Ping's back. Get excited. As we are getting ready to look forward. I feel like starting on the defensive side here for the Warriors. Get that ability to really set yourself a really clear and concise finish line once you do get over to the attacking side. Starting agent select. Hopefully we'll be able to continue moving forward with that here in just a moment. Minnesota State seems comfortable and very confident with their picks. There's no hovers necessary. Don't see Fade too often. Fade, Breach, Neon, Omen, Vise. Seeing a relatively similar composition with the Omen, Neon, Vise. Sky looking to bring back out that Sova though, potentially. And I always love watching me a little Viper gameplay. So Willie Helm, please give it to me. I'm here for it. I feel like Corrode is a map that, while there is already a meta being developed from the little bit that I have seen of it, I feel like it's still enough where there's nothing super locked in. I think there's obviously agents that a lot of teams are seeing as essentially locks. Part of the reason you're seeing some similar picks here. Obviously the ability to rotate through the map relatively quickly with the multiple sites. And the longer rotation lines makes sense for the Neon. Here we go, chat. That rotate between B and A, I just feel like it's where you can get that extra little bit of speed is really big on those rotation round, or if you do decide to rotate all the way back through spawns as well. Say at the top of map number 1 though, every map starts the same.
Here.
That's with the pistol round.
Not ready yet. Retrieving flash.
And here we go.
Take this. I'm out of here.
Quick push through here for Z Killer, trying to find the first. Will get stunned by Apple Sucker, who has switched over to that Neon from the jet that we had seen in map number 1.
Here.
Hang on the Omen. Will opt to start the rotate over towards A. Backside. Oh, I was going to say Willie Helm on that lurk might be able to find something. Ends up not being the case. So it's Ping and M2 Sky. M2 Sky, 18 HP in a dream.
Flawless.
It'll be a flawless round here for the Mavericks to start things off. Of course, that is only round number 1. We had seen these two going back and forth on Haven, and I would anticipate that Corrode will be no different.
Cover going out. Here.
Like on this map, your offense, you so rarely want to get caught in that middle area. Just because you have to anticipate at least some sort of presence from the defense, right? Because it's a decent rotation point. Z-Killer holding it down currently. Apple Sucker will push through quickly and be able to put them down. Oolong with the Bulldog in hand. Same as Memo. Ping gets put down in the potential. Another team flawless round. It's all left to Willie Helm. You'd like to be able to make this round somewhat expensive. Maybe get a rifle out of hand, but it's Apple Sucker. Finds their third. This is where the rifles come into play, though, and while you don't have much to build on necessarily for Indiana Tech, since it has been 2 flawless rounds, also means you haven't necessarily given away much here either. So it feels like round 3 could be a big catalyst. Starts with the opening frag. Players more so in the middle. Oolong gets turned on here by Z-Killer, who's going to be able to spray through the smoke and finds a second as well. Apple Sucker has been the one that's been leading the charge for this Mavericks squad, especially in the first 2 rounds. Here as we've moved to Corrode.
Gotta go. I'm out of here.
Be a pivot over towards BM to Sky, holding down the short corner. Surely backs down and gives them access. And tries to potentially catch him off guard. Apple Sucker not caught off. Will be Willie Helm who finds 1, but it's only 1. 16 HP in a dream here for Apple Sucker. So he'll tuck away into this little cubby. 2v3.
Player standing.
Ping gonna be able to find the final 2, and I feel like this young man here, see the Omen start to get hot after switching over from League, and now lead the charge over on Valorant.
Gun here.
Let Ping start to cook. He could very well serve up the entirety of this Mavericks roster. Of course, when you get rifles into your hands in round number 3, you're generally at the advantage. Especially after the flawless round, it was the Mavericks who were looking for a big bonus. This time around, we'll be coming in with a bye. And as much as they were able to build up money in the bank early, back-to-back round wins would very much start to settle the score. Put you back onto an even playing field from there.
My blind is dead.
Ezekiel is going to have to display a nice sense of patience with the judge in hand. With pretty well 9 rifles out in the server other than that. All about this opening frag, and I think Applesucker saw an elbow there from M2 Sky. Will fall back, as will Memo and company here over towards A. Oh, the defense starting to pivot towards A. Back to B they go. There was too much space surrendered. It's Oolong, first one on. And I think saw just the foot of William. William will at least be able to find one. But it will be the spike that goes down here for the Mavericks. Ping. They'll lead the charge with the rest of the squad, closing in on all 3 angles. This opening pick will be huge. Voidlord and Ezekiel are both finding one. Voidlord will find 2. It's all left to Zag, who finds 3. M2 Sky, the last one left alive. Indiana Tech, even the score here at round 4. It was a relatively costly round, but it's still a round 1 nonetheless for the Warriors. We'll see what both teams are working with here on the bye in just a moment. Still so early into this game, though. I mean, it'd be easy to say an important round because you can continue to move things into your favor. Z-Killer falling back. It's Applesucker, though, who continues to win the neon on neon exchange.
Go, go, go! Out of charges!
And we'll be able to find Memo, but we'll eventually get put down by Applesucker. It's all left to Willie Helm here, who has the Bucky in hand. Would like to just get one more rifle. Had Oolong in sight, but wasn't able to pull the trigger in time. Minnesota State will take the lead once more.
Now we wait. Launching thorns! Launching thorns!
Round number 6 here. Still been keeping things close. Feels like Minnesota State hasn't really been favoring one side or the other. Oolong will be able to find the opening one. Z-Killer gets stuck between a rock and a hard place. And now the defense spread thin here for the Warriors.
Go, go, go!
Applesucker moving quickly here. Willie Helm gets traded out. Voidlord, oh, had the sheriff in hand, found one, could have found the second, but misses by just a bit. And now it's all gonna be left to Ping. Oh, Ping was looking the right way, but turned because of the fault line. After back-to-back round losses, it will be a timeout called by Indiana Tech, and I like the call here. Don't want to let this lead get too far out of control. And also, it's before the rifle round, right? We had seen the sheriff in hand, a little bit of a mixed buy. It should be back to a full buy, if I'm not mistaken, going into round number 5. So you do want to make sure that you're all good to go. It mentioned how the team still seemed to be all smiles heading into map number 2. I think the reality of things has started to settle in here, though. Of course, it is still early. We are only going into round number 7 here on the other side of this timeout.
Gotta go.
A round win here from Indiana Tech would put you back to within 1. But momentum can be such a dangerous thing in a game of Valorant. Especially as you move to map number 2, you've been playing a little bit longer, the gunny's a little bit warmer on either side.
This way. Go, go, go. Next.
Can you go from warm to hot? Cooking with gasoline. Ping will be able to find one, takes down Applesucker. Feels like a huge opening frag to fight back with. Unfortunately, though, Void Lord will be found on the backside.
One enemy remaining.
Zekula unsuccessful in finding space. Ping finds a second, but quickly gets put down. It's Willie Helm, who does have the Viper's Pit to work with.
Poison orb emitting. I can't die here. Poison's off.
Team Ace.
Just not enough time. Even if you find those last 2 killers, or those last 2 players there, you find those last 2 kills, they've done enough job of being able to kill time. The Mavericks seem to be heating up. I have a couple of ults at your disposal here on the defensive side. The Vives, the Sova, the Neon. You'll see a mixed buy. Couple of half shields, couple of SMGs. This is why you took that time out heading into round number 7. You really needed to walk away with that last one.
Watch out. I'm out of here.
But now it's about having to stop the bleeding. Because there is still time to turn this thing around. You proved to have the ability to do just that on Haven.
Wall tripped. Rip and tear. Thorns activated.
Feels like it's gonna have to start here in round number 8. A great job of prolonging this first initial push here onto A. We'll see Minnesota State fall back through A and then to lobby. The only problem is Willie Helm finds triplet here. The Mavericks still opt to push their way through B. Will it be a push down the middle lane? Yet again, it's Zekula who gets caught pushed just a little too far forward. M2 Sky falls next. As it is now down to a 3v3.
One enemy remaining.
Make it a 2v3 down to a 1v3. Last one left being Ping with the sheriff in hand. And the additional rifle would be huge, but Memo quicker to the trigger. Popping heads and stacking bread over on that Minnesota State side. 3 rifles carried on over. 4 ults at their disposal. The Mavericks have now guaranteed themselves at least a share of the lead at half. Full buy back over on that Indiana Tech side.
Bring them down.
And in an all too familiar position from what we had seen in map number 1. That started with the same score line where it went the distance.
Hi, I'm pissed.
Just like we had said in round number 9 on Haven. Feels like this is about as close to a must-win round as you can be, while still being in the first half for the Warriors.
Face your fear.
All sorts of ults coming out. Is M2 Sky going to be able to find an additional frag? Matter of fact, so does Voidlord. It's going to be all left to triplet in the 1v4. Voidlord puts it down. And just like map number 1, where it was round number 9 that Indiana Tech started their run, they look to do the same here on Corrode. Only problem being that last round being as expensive as it was, Z-Killer won't be able to have a rifle in hand. It will be a Bucky, however, and have been seeing Z-Killer holding down those short corners anyways. Not the worst thing in the world.
Toxin screen down.
We do see 3 players here from Minnesota State looking towards A. Nothing as of yet. Just a couple pop shots. I do believe that was more in the middle of the map.
Here.
See Ping holding them off, has the Phantom in hand. Willie Helm will be able to find that first frag, but it was the lone player over towards B. Hopefully that doesn't cause the defense to overinvest. Z-Killer able to find the headshot.
And I'm out of here.
Now it's Apple Sucker. Might I say, feels like really has been the
Left.
leader of this Minnesota State squad, who will now not only find one, but finds a second. The overdrive here for Z-Killer,
Running low.
as Willie Helm will be able to find the 4K for the 4th round, 1 here from Indiana Tech. 2 more rounds left on the defending side.
Gotta go. Go, go, go.
Couple of ults available on either side. Nothing too crazy to write home about. Indiana Tech starting to piece things together. I feel like part of it has been sitting back just a little bit and allowing the Mavericks' aggression to kind of work against them just a little bit.
Cover going out.
Still trying to gather some information over towards A. I think the Mavericks would like to push on to site. It is just the Vise left to their own demise over here.
I'll find you.
But as more time continues to expire away,
I'm out of here.
Mavericks don't really have Much information that has been given over to them. There's only 30 seconds left. You have to full send on to A for now. Everyone gathered together. Fault line along with the sprint coming through for Apple Sucker as they duck, dip, and dive, finding themselves a couple.
I'm out of here.
10 seconds left. Spike planted.
Apple Sucker not only finding all 3 frags, able to put the spike down here as well. Willie Helm will turn this thing into a 2v2. The overdrive for Apple Sucker, though, will be denied. It will be Memo left in a 1v2.
One enemy remaining.
Nice play by Memo to wait and step through, now knowing that they have to full send here. But Indiana Tech is just enough. Just like they did on Haven. A full send on the stick to the spike. And despite the fact that the last one left standing is a Minnesota State player, Indiana Tech have moved themselves to within 1. You figure all 5 ults coming into play here. The big one for me, though, I was going to say the Viper's Pit, but that Viper's Pit, a little off of B here. This spike will still be able to get down. Here's Zag holding off 4 players from the Warriors. Zekilla does a great job of being able to press the issue, however. Willie Helm still lurking around inside this Viper's Pit, will step out, but Memo a little quicker to the trigger. It's a 1v1, M2 Sky and Memo. Both players sitting on low HP. Nice job by Sky to be able to bait out the... I was gonna say bait out the ult, but then have the location revealed. Going for the long play here is M2 Sky. The recon bolt doesn't find its mark, nor does the Prowler. Ring around the rosy. Gotta clear your right here, Sky. Oh, you gotta see the barrel on your right here, Sky. Oh, not like this. He's gonna walk right into it. Oh, it hurts.
Switching sides.
And in a similar fashion, we go into the half with Minnesota State up 7-5. It is manageable. It has to start with the pistol as the Warriors switch over to the attacking side. It does feel like it's here and now. If not, that weight on the shoulder of our Warriors will continue to build after a hard-fought map number 1. You're gonna need a darn near flawless half. On the attacking side here on Corrode, Apple Sucker holding the short corner here. They'll get put down by Willie Helm. Memo rounds the corner with a ghost in hand, knowing that there's still 4 players there. Looking to be able to fall back and get away with their life, but it'll be Ebis Uzag off of screen, who finds 2 and turns this into a 3v3. Still has the classic right click will do. Now with the spike down, Indiana Tech's gonna have to figure out what they're doing with the rest of this round. Ping picks up the spike. But
down
Memo
mid.
quickly closes the distance and puts them down. Void
30
Lord, the
seconds
last
left.
one left alive. The good news for you is both players around the spike relatively low on HP, so you don't necessarily need a headshot.
I have the spike.
Can you get to A in time? It's a full-on sprint. Come on! All right. Spike goes down. These players are split.
One enemy remaining.
Hold on. Void Lord can still pull this off.
Shadows traveling.
MSU Zag, 21 HP in a dream. You gotta figure the first one's a fake, right? Void Lord steps on through. The ice in the veins. Void Lord just built different. The pistol round goes in favor of the Warriors. This time around, it will be pretty well SMGs all the way across the board. Other than, I think that was Willie Helm we had seen that was going with the Guardian. Question becomes, which way does Indiana Tech look to pivot their focus? Sent the Viper's wall over towards A, but at this point, everyone grouped together in this bottom mid, looking to push towards stairs. Now looking through A link, the only problem is Apple sucker on the other side here. Not only shot the sheriff,
Take this. I'm out of
but
here.
also shot the deputy. Memo's also going to be able to find one off of screen. Ping finds one.
Spike down A.
Ping will be able to find a second here as well. We'll be left to a 2v2.
30 seconds left.
Zag will be the last one that's at least over here towards A, looking to prevent the spike going down. Doing damage with that sheriff in hand. Thrifty round for Minnesota State as they move up to 8. Still manageable here if you're Indiana Tech, but felt like a real misadvantage in that last round there. Now you're gonna have a little bit of a mixed buy going into this one. It's still definitely manageable. They're gonna look for a quick push over here towards B, but Oolong on the top of this roof. We'll be able to find the first. Able to find 3 of them. Three of them things make it 4. And now at this point, you would just like to be able to get something. To Sky able to find 1, but that will be it. Minnesota State has now officially moved up to 9. They're gonna look for a quick push over here towards B, but Oolong. And understandably so after that last play. Timeout called. Don't want this half to get too far out of hand. They're gonna look for a quick push over here towards B, but Oolong. On the top of this roof, we'll be able to find the first. Able to find 3 of them. Three of them things make it 4. Man, oh man. What a play that we saw there. It felt like that was an opportunity to at least be able to push back a little bit. It'll be a big, nice little chunk of bonus up in that econ there as well for the Mavericks after that 9th round one. They won't have to reinvest too much more. I've said before in map number 1, those meat and potato rounds, 17 through 20, where you really want to make sure that you're heated up and ready to roll. We're on the verge of that, and right now Indiana Tech down by 3.
Find you.
Still waiting.
Mark 1.
I think the important thing here for the Warriors is you don't want to get overly aggressive, right? I mean, each round that clock does restart. It's not like you need to, I was going to say, force things here. First 2 frags, though, will go in favor
Bring them down.
of Minnesota State.
Enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
You were really hoping for a big round off the back end of the timeout.
Shadows traveling.
And now it's going to be all left to Ping, who has to try to be the magic man. Finds one, but only one. As the Mavericks now continue to roll. It's now been 3 rounds in a row they've been able to put on the board after winning the pistol. Feels like here's where you need to be able to pull things off. You've got 2 ults at your disposal, both the Vise and the Omen.
Down. I'm out of here.
You'll have to worry about that rolling thunder on the other side. See, Killer's going to be able to find a second here, so maybe exactly what the doctor ordered, but it's Zag who turns the corner, finds the head of M2 Sky. Doesn't necessarily stop the push onto A. It does slow down the initial spike plant, but Spike still goes down nonetheless. Now all 3 players gathered up on this backside. That rolling thunder that comes out along with the fault line. But Willie Helm will be able to find one.
Flash placed. Not ready yet. Good hit. 1 enemy remaining. Thrift.
Enough has been done.
All back.
Especially as Willie Helm and Z Killer can both turn the corner. A thrifty round, a big round one, because not only do you get the point on the board, you win a round that you shouldn't have. You're able to fight back in the economy a little bit as well, because you have 3 rifles that now get carried over into this next one that the Mavericks were so nice enough to bring to you. Surely Willie Helm buys up a full shield here, right? Right? All right. Up to round 18 we go. Apple Sucker,
There.
who really has felt like they've been winning a lot of their ones, especially to start off these rounds for the Mavericks. Gets another first blood. Oolong will be able to find 2 before getting put down, and Zag finds 1 as well, leaving it all left to Ping. But hold on, Ping looking to do their thing. They had been able to find 2, but had triplet on their 6. That will put Minnesota State up to 11. And these rounds, a lot of them, they don't feel like they're far away from going in the favor of the Warriors.
Cower.
The Mavericks doing just enough.
Cover going out.
Sucker finds the first. It gets traded out by Z Killer. Still time for Minnesota State to drop a couple of rounds and feel okay, but Indiana Tech doesn't have that same luxury. They've got to start piecing things together here. Z Killer has found 3 in this round as the spike goes down. Triplet gets put down by Ping, and these are the type of rounds that you need to start stringing together if you are the Warriors.
You can't see my face right now, but just know I'm smiling.
It's still within range. The only problem is if Minnesota State wins 1 round, they're up to that series point. You do have 3's ult at your disposal here, though. That's the good news for you if you're Indiana Tech. Got some that'll be able to help you on the post plant as well. Of course, that means you have to be able to get the spike down.
Blinding.
Long will be able to find the first 2, though. That's going to hurt Indiana Tech in a big way. Z Killer having to fall back here as well. Oh, no. Indiana Tech responds with 2 in their own right. It's now a 3v3. This has become plenty doable. Will Zag be spotted? That's the question. Zag finds 1 and will now retreat back with the rest of their squad. Now a decision must be made if you are Indiana Tech. Your location has been noted. Say if they were to rotate, they had to do it then. It is Zag who's going to be able to find a 3K. The final 2 there to be able to win the round, and that there will put Minnesota State on the map and match point.
Match point.
Here.
Big rounds here. For Minnesota State, you're now in an interesting situation where you have no pressure on you right now. You've got a couple of goes at this map point here, but you drop a map, or you drop a round or 2. Start to give the Warriors a sense of belief. They're looking to push their way on to B. Memo finds the opening frag for the side of Minnesota State. Players falling on either side, but it will be the spike that eventually goes down thanks to Willie Helm. Here will be that Viper's Pit that you hope should secure you the round. Dag trying to make the magic plays. Was able to take down the Viper, but not able to find Z Killer in time. As the 4K will extend this map for another round. If Indiana Tech can duplicate that success 3 more times, we could very well be seeing this map extended. Let's get down to it. NECC's been finding some success with these pushovers towards B. They'll look to do the same thing here. There's Fury comes out. Doesn't look like that Hunter's Fury was really able to find anything. Yeah, it moved Oolong out of their corner, but that was about it. Off screen, M2 Sky able to find one. As NECC looks to pivot over towards A. Apple Sucker holding the short corner down. One pop of the shotty to the body brings out the magic fingers, kicks it into overdrive. Now chasing down the fourth kill. But Ping says not today. Ping them need to pull off the magic play there. If we are going to see this thing extended from here, Ping steps through. There's one, but won't be able to find Zag. It was close, but close ain't gonna cut it. Hard-fought battle here in week number 2 of NECC action. Again, if I had to guess how these standings will look at the end of the semester, we probably just play the team that's gonna finish in that number 1 spot. Minnesota State Mavericks move up to 2-0 off of the back of 4 map wins. And both of those ones today looked really good for NECC. Definitely some things to take home, be able to get back into the lab. Definitely some VOD reviewing to do, but I feel like in losses always there's more to be able to take away than in the wins. As far as for things to improve on, I think that's always something to keep in the back of the mind. And again, both maps were close. I think he just let both maps get a little out of control there in the middle of the first half. We do appreciate you guys coming through and hanging out with us over on the NECC Esports Twitch channel. Here hanging out with us on the stream. It's your first time through, make sure you hit that follow button down below. Turn those notifications on. We do have more action heading y'all's way all week long. Tomorrow we got Marvel Rivals that will be kicking off at, I believe, 6 p.m. So make sure that if you guys are wanting to tune in and hang out with you Warriors, we look forward to catching y'all over here tomorrow. All right, that is going to wrap things up here for tonight, here for our NECC action. I want to make sure we're giving a big shout out to our observer working in the background, man. As much as fun as I have over here, they you know, the observers, producers, they always have the hard unsung hero work. So big shout out to them. Till we catch you all back for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all. It's your boy Crew Q for the rest of the crew here from the front to the back. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.
Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time